Jean Lafitte National Historical Park has 6 different units, and the Chalmette Battlefield is one of them. The Battle of New Orleans was the last major battle of the War of 1812. It really cemented the fact that the United States was an independent country. Before the winning of the Battle of New Orleans and the winning of the War of 1812, we were a very young country. We were looked as an infant country. We didn't have a lot of prestige at the time. But when we won the War of 1812, that was when all the other nations in the world looked at us as a country to be reckoned with. Every year, the park, in commemoration of the Battle of New Orleans, holds an anniversary event where we invite over 100,000 reenactors to come to the site and portray the troops that fought in the Battle of New Orleans. These reenactors don't just come here, they also work in other areas throughout the country, doing reenactments at other battlefields. And every year we invite the same people back, but then we also welcome new people to come too. The type of person that does this is someone who really enjoys history, and they love to feel and be in the event. Like a lot of the reenactors here actually ended up camping out overnight in the 20-degree weather because they wanted to experience what it was like to be a soldier in 1812. And because it is so cold this year, it was really cold the day the Battle of New Orleans was fought. A lot of the British troops were really impacted by the cold, and a lot of them did die from the cold. And so this year, because of the cold, it's really just like the Battle of New Orleans the year it happened in 1815.
I'm a member of Plauchet's battalion. I am out here to defend my home, to defend my life, to defend my business. If we lose on the American side, all the guys from the regular Army, from the 7th and the 44th, they go home. All these farmers from Tennessee, they're going to go back home. I'm the one who's stuck here with the British if we lose. I am highly motivated to stay and fight and defend my home.
My mother went to a prison ship in Charlestown to help doctor one of our neighbors who had a son that was on a prison ship there, and she contacted ship fever, and my mother passed away. They had to bury her before they could bring her home. I owe the British a lot, sir, and so help me God, I'll pay it in full on this planes when they arrive. You have my word on that. I'm Andrew Jackson, and you're viewing local programming on Cox 4.
Well, he was over in the Pensacola area and moved what few troops he had with him at that time to New Orleans. When he came here, he really didn't have a very large army, considering when the British came, they brought 10,000 troops with them. So what he had to do is he had to recruit from a lot of the local people to get together to come and fight from him. Some were people who had worked, had volunteered in armies before, but a lot of them had never fought before. And a lot of the local groups, such as your wealthy New Orleans businessmen, got together and formed a troop. You had your free men of color who also did that. And the outstanding thing about this battle was a lot of these people had never fought before. They spoke several different languages, French, English, and Spanish. And so he brought them all together and they fought in unison, and that was what enabled us to win this battle. The Beauregard House was actually built here after the battle. It was built in the 1830s, so it wasn't here when the battle occurred. The plantation, the Chalmette plantation for which the battle happened on, Jackson actually destroyed their house prior to the battle because he didn't want the British to take cover in it. So they kind of blew it up, so to speak. The monument was built to recognize General Jackson for what he did here, as well as the troops that fell. And it was to memorialize the Battle of New Orleans that happened here. It took many years to construct because it was like they had funds and then they lost funds. It changed through several different ownerships until finally the Daughters of the War of 1812 decided to take it on because they thought it was a very important monument to construct. And it was through them and their lobbying, they actually got governmental funds to finish the monument. And from there, it then passed on to the Park Service. We have a website, which is www.nps.gov/JELA. That's the website for Jean Lafitte National Historical Park and Preserve, and all of our different units are on that, and they can find that information there. Or they can call 504-589-2133.